Cause that's international vocal coach. You'll find your voice. We'll guide you through the highs and teach you how to rejoice. No more holding back. It's time to let it all out. Break through the barriers. There's no room for doubt.
Hello, my beautiful people. Oh my goodness. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Listen, I'm Babs Alexander, your international vocal coach. And on today's episode, we are excited exploring into the captivating world of acting. You know, we have already launched a new book called Beginner to Broadway. If you have ever dreamed of stepping onto the stage, or making a mark in front of the camera, you're in for a treat. Our focus today is the ins and out of becoming a professional actor, the dreams, the challenges, and the secrets to success. Now, whether you're an aspiring artist looking for guidance or a seasoned performer eager to glean some wisdom, this episode is crafted just for you. Joining us is the phenomenal Taekwondo, aka Quanny Johnson, an actress whose journey from the stage to the screen is nothing short of inspiration. We'll unravel the layers of her experiences, delve into the intricacies of her training, and uncover the valuable lessons she's learned along the way. So buckle up. You ready? For an exciting journey in creativity expressions. From the early sparks of passion to the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry, we'll leave no stone unturned. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Chats with Oh. All right, hey guys, how y'all doing today? And welcome, Quanny, to our stage. Thank you so much for being with us today. So excited. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the insider here. Quanny was one of my students. Was she? I had, let me see, you was what, fifth grade, sixth grade?
No, I was young. I was like in third grade. I was like 8.
Third grade. Oh my God, it was my little baby. She was so talented. So talented. So, Quanny, I want you to take some time and tell these people a little bit about who you are and what you have been doing so they can just get a good taste of Quanny. And by the way, people, if you don't know Quanny and you're not following her on TikTok, that's not good. You got to follow her. The girl is hilarious. Oh my God, Medea turned over. You have to play it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's just too funny.
Oh my God, I gotta get back into it. It's been a while. Oh my God, you just reminded me.
It was called the dose of Quanny for COVID. Quanny for COVID, man. We should have made it Quanny for COVID. Because I'm telling you, she kept us in stitches. It looked like to me she was running around that house, coming up with every single thing to do. And it helped to keep us entertained. And Quanny, I got to say thank you on behalf of all the people across the globe that you kept us entertained. We appreciate you. Showed up.
Like I was entertained. I was trying to keep sane. So I'm happy.
I get it. I get it. So now, Quanny, tell us a little bit about you and the work that you have been doing throughout this time. Now, we see that you are a native of Bridgeport, and you've discovered you had a natural born creative talent, and you had fell in love with dance at the age of 5, and you've been training. Then you had the opportunity to be trained with the Alvin Ailey School at the age of 12, and then you opened performances for you, even with the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. So that's absolutely amazing. I want you to tell us a little bit more about your early actions on how you got into this world of entertainment.
Well, honestly, I want to say it started when I was in the choir with you. Now I'm nobody's singer, but I am a lover of music, and so like we did let me tell y'all, when we were in this choir, we were not just doing do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Absolutely.
We did everything. We sung, we danced, we like it was like every component of creativity was tied into performing. And honestly, I feel like that's where the art of performance, not just singing, not just dancing, not just acting, but perform, like there is a quality that comes with performing. And that's where it all started, honestly. And then like ever since then, I want to say I've been in dance, as you stated already. I started off like just going to the local dance studio, and then my mother had signed me up to be a part of a dance camp called Ailey Camp. So this was like a foundation under the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. So a lot of their teachers who trained, who taught at Ailey were some of their dancers. They would come and they would teach us. So it was like a day camp basically. So we danced from the morning to the afternoon and it was all day. And from that point on, I was sold. I was just like, this is where I belong. This is my happy place. This is something I wanted to pursue. So after that, that's when like my mom, I guess, saw how serious and devoted and committed I was, and she just made sure I stuck with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And hats off to everyone that's been treading the path, especially when you start to see your talents start to evolve and you can see how happy you are and you find a happy place. I was just talking the other day to individuals online and telling them how to find their happy place on Chats with Babs on last Friday. And it was just essential that people understand it's important for you to know how to be happy in your job. Do you know that there
Definitely.
are people that are literally miserable
Miserable.
and they go to work every day? I don't even know how the people tolerate them because they're not happy. So I don't know how you can give a happy service out of a miserable place. You know what I'm saying? So they're enduring, but my goodness, how longer do you endure just for a paycheck? And half the time that paycheck is not
Ain't even worth it.
right, right. So I'm like, no, I'm not really sure if we're gonna go that route. Not for me, at least.
Hmm.
So I'm really happy that parents can see where we're going and see where we need to go and what we need to do. Because with that said, it helps us to figure out, okay, you know what? This child needs this, we need to keep her here because now it helps you to cultivate, it helps you to be able to do. Now tell me this. Now, I know with me, but I want to know with you finding that space and being able to do that and your mom getting you into even more arts programs, did it help you in school as a well-rounded child to be able to do your arts in math and science and English and social studies?
Yeah, it kind of like helped me tap into how to process information
Mm-hmm.
because I learned this from like listening to Debbie Allen. She said dancers are the most intelligent people on the planet. I mean, of course, that's subjective, like it's a subjective statement, but in a sense, it's fact because you literally have to remember everything. And so, of course, using a creative component such as dance or acting or theater, like you have, it takes a certain like brain power to process and to internalize information. And so, it definitely helped me um, to find a way to kind of like execute and articulate, regurgitate information what once it was given. So definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not only that, it gives you that creativity because dance
Yes.
is all creativity, even though you get pointers from the teacher. But when it's time for you to freestyle and be able to show those dance skills, it helps you to use your creativity. How did you apply that in school while you were in school, from transitioning from the dance over into those core subjects?
Well, it definitely, especially like as I got older, because when you're older and you're like middle school, high school, you have to present information. You have to delve into projects more. You have to be able to do I don't know, PowerPoint presentations. You have to be able to speak in front of people. And so in number one, it gave me that boldness.
Mm-hmm.
Um I was able to articulate. I was able to kind of use my skill as a dancer to kind of keep the engage people,
Mm-hmm.
and like, yeah, and entertain them, because I was good for making people laugh. And I had to, because like I don't want to, because I don't, it can be kind of boring, and I don't want anybody to fall asleep, and it was a way for me to kind of enjoy what I was talking about. If we're talking about history and we're talking about the Revolutionary War, like, talk about like what made it that way, and try to find a way to spread that message through like moving the body, and uh demonstration, uh theatrics, like just those little small components is what makes the difference in presentation.
Absolutely. It gave you more creativeness to be able to start to,
Mhm.
I guess I want to say, the imagery of
Yes,
actually
definitely.
understanding it, you
Mhm.
know, you expressing it, it took you even further. Hi, Anthony. And guys, I can finally see you while we are on YouTube Live. I am talking to actress Taekwonda Johnson, and she's talking about acting as a professional career and how it has morphed and changed her life as she is continuing to become the actress that she is. Okay, so now tell us a little bit about, now you talked about the early stages of when you were in third grade and understanding how you started to figure out, oh, I really like this. And going from there, you then started transitioning to doing even more into dance. Tell us how you continue to track your way, and what made you start that very first audition into the professional realm, and what was the steps to that?
Well, training. Training. I can't say it enough. Uh I How did it all begin? I went off to college, and um I kind of thought that because I was in college that I kind of had to put that to the back burner, but it just only but I felt the difference between when I was my best creative self first versus when I wasn't, and I saw a change in my behavior, in my emotional stability, my mental stability. And so I was like, oh, that's not going to work. So I ended up joining the band, and I was a dancer in the band, a majorette dancer. And once I graduated, I was just like, oh, is this where it all stops? I guess. And again, once I graduated, nobody talks about like the postgraduate syndrome. Nobody talks about that.
Right.
Um, and what you that drought that you go through, I want to say the first 6 months to a year after post graduation. Um, and so I I just like, I took a brief hiatus, and my pastor actually told me, he was like, you need to be performing. You need to be performing theater, dance, something. Just perform. And so I was just like, well, I don't know where to begin. And so I randomly started taking trips to New York and just taking classes. That's how it started first. Um, and I went to like, because the Ailey School does like classes for everyday people. So that's how it all started. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, I feel like myself again. And so then I was just like, well, what do I do now? Because I don't want to sit down for the next 3 to 6 months and then, lose all of what I just gained. And so I was just like, okay, so I was randomly, it was so random, so random. I was randomly just surfing the internet and I saw that there was this school that was geared towards dance education. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be able to teach. And I've always said this since I was about 10. I said, I want to choreograph. I want to teach dance. I want to do what they're doing. So I applied, and mind you, I didn't necessarily go to college for dance per se, but I do have enough experience to, like, so I kind of just played it by faith. I applied for the program, and I want to say, like, a couple weeks later, they were like, oh, welcome to this, welcome. You are now going to, like, pursue a master's degree in dance education. I
Uh,
said, what now? And so I started going to school for dance education. And so one of the not the prerequisites, but one of the requirements is that you have to go to different performances, go to different dance companies and perform, take classes. And that was where it all started for me, because I started connecting with different people. I started, just being asked to, like, become a part of different projects. That's where I met a friend. She's a former roommate of mine. I was like an apprentice for a dance company called Forces of Nature Dance Theater in Harlem. I was Give Me Center, Perry dance, all of those things. So I started really, like, becoming well engrafted with those people. Yeah. So that's how it all started.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm sitting here laughing and smiling because remember, I told you I wrote a book, and the book is called Beginner to Broadway, the How to Guide for Aspiring Actors. And it's funny that you said that because half the steps that you just said, they're in here. That's exactly what I told them to do.
Wow.
If you're
Wow.
interested in being able to want to know how to perform, you got to get out there. Go take a road trip and go to the city and start getting in some classes. Then I started listing classes. Then I started giving addresses. And then I also said, go visit the theater. Did you ever consider going to visit the theater to see other people doing that which you wanted to do?
Oh, absolutely. I still do it.
Me too.
Like, still do it, because that's the only way you're going to get better. Like, it's, yeah, like, that's the only way you're going to learn. And that's if you digest what you're watching, because I mean, that's just natural. We're going to digest it. But, like, it's just, I don't really know what else to say behind that. That's the only way you're going to grow. You go to performances, you take those classes, take the different types of classes, because it's beyond now just talent. Like, talent is wonderful, but it's a skill that you have to work on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that in order for you to stay competitive in this age, you need to continue to hone your talent. Invest. I think that's
Mm,
the word I would use.
definitely,
Invest
yes,
in your
definitely.
talent. Because for
Hmm.
some reason, many people think they can just say, oh, I have a natural born talent. I'm just going to use that. And you can use your talent, but it will take you to a certain place. And then you feel like you're halted. Why? Well, that's because you need to learn a few more skills to take you to the next milestone in your career. So
Mm.
I'm glad you said that, Taekwondo. So now tell me this. Can you tell us about your first audition into the stage? Tell us about that and how did you feel and what did you do and just tell me what you brought with you. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Um, my first audition on the stage was back in, I want to say, the professional stage, because of course, like, I perform for church and things like that, but like the professional stage, I want to say it was back in 2016. um and I didn't know nothing from nothing. And I honestly wasn't even expected to audition. Like, it was so random. I actually, like, yes, I was looking to connect with people, but that particular day I was just like, well, I guess I got a phone call from somebody that I knew. They were working. This was at a local theater in Brooklyn, and they were like, "Oh, I was just expected to help behind the scenes. I was gonna do behind the scenes stuff and then work my way up. That
Mm,
was the plan." And
okay.
so I get a phone call. She's like, "Hey, well, it's production season, and they're about to audition." I was like, "Audition for what?" He was like, "Well, we have a new production coming up. Like, they just opened up a big casting call." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, I want to audition. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I want to audition." And she was like, "Well, I guess you can try." Cool. All right, cool. Showed up, and again, knew nothing from nothing. And they told me to read us. I didn't, it was so bad. I didn't even know like the theatrical terms. Like, they was like, "Okay, take this side." What's a side of food? What, macaroni and cheese, collard greens? What's a side? So, oh, okay, a part of a script. That's a side. Okay. So, like, again, I'm just learning as I go along. Audition, and they're like, "Okay, well, can you sing?" I said, "You want me to do what? Sing?" And I was getting like, at first it was very intimidating because I was getting so much no. Well, you got to make eye contact. You can't just be your eyes can't wander all the time. She was like, "Well, keep your body still. Um uh you have to show more emotion." Like, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'm like, she's giving me all of these notes, and I'm taking them, I'm using them.
Mhm, mhm.
But like, and then she's telling me to reread, and I'm like, okay. And like, there's different audition people, like other people auditioning as well. And so then she sits me down. She says, "You have a lot of potential." I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." And I thought I was about to go on my way. She was like, "I want you to come in tomorrow and read again." And so I came in, read again. She still was giving me notes. This time I went home and cried because it was a lot, and it was very overwhelming. And I'm like, "I don't know anything. I just want to be good. I just want to be good." 2 days later, I got the role, and that was my first role, and it was the lead role too.
Woo,
And
get it, girl.
it started off. It was meant to be a stage production,
Uh-huh.
but they turned it into a film. So Selena P, that what I put in my bio, that was originally supposed to be a stage production, but it's a film now, and it won awards.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. I guess you're on your way to Golden Globe, huh, there, Miss Quanny?
please. I hope
Very
we're out there.
good. Now, Quani, I'm going to ask you another question. Now, we know that there is something called equity versus non-equity. Which position are you in at this time?
I am non-equity. I'm equity eligible.
Okay.
I'm equity eligible and SAG eligible.
Okay. So now, which route are you going? Are you going with the vouchers, or are you going with the EMCs, or which direction are you going in?
Whichever comes first.
Oh, that's me.
Whichever comes first, because like, it's a long process, and I didn't realize how much of a long process it is.
Yeah.
um and I did not know that. I thought you just sign your name on the dollar line, pay your little fees, and you good. No, it's a lot. So I'm headed toward I want to go towards the EMCs, but again, whichever comes first. Um, and then with this strike happening, it kind of like put everything to a halt, and as well. And so, yeah, whichever comes first.
Let me ask you this. Do you have vouchers at this point?
Yes, I do. I just finished doing like a back project via background, so I gained one just by doing that project by itself.
Okay.
So I'm working on more.
Okay, okay. That go for major movies, you'll get them a lot quicker. Because I know
Yeah.
I got two.
Oh, okay.
I need one more.
Yeah, I got
It's
like that
major
was yeah, I
moves.
got one. This was doing where for a TV project, HBO.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get them quick with the holiday movies because they're coming at you like that on those.
Oh,
So
they do. Yeah.
I got
Especially
one for
yeah.
Brooklyn's finest too. So all
Wait,
right.
you
So
did
now
Brooklyn's
let me
Finest? I'm
huh?
sorry. I'm sorry. That distracted me. You did Brooklyn's Finest?
Yeah, I was in there. I was in background. However, they were given SAG the vouchers, and I was quickly in there. I didn't even know it until once we got in there and they were like, "Hey, we're giving vouchers." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Now there are times where you could hit that stage and they'll give a SAG card, which I would love
Mm-hmm.
to be that one to just land that pilot. So you never know. Like the Wiz, those that are coming in on the Wiz and they're coming in on Broadway, you never know what they wind up getting because they're coming straight in off. So I'm looking for more as we continue to get more information. As you know, we are interviewing casting directors as well as agents, managers, and producers so we can continue to educate and empower our local acting community so they can learn how to be amazing professional actors in this realm. And so, although we are actors, we are yet learning. People, every
Learning.
time you're doing this, you're always
Mm-hmm.
studying again your craft so you can continue to be great. And I want you guys to understand that. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
without further ado, I want to ask you now, can you tell me when you received your first stage audition and what happened in the audition room? And can you tell us about your callback?
Okay, so what happened? This was another local theater in Brooklyn, the Heights Players Theater.
Okay.
This very profound theater place. Like if it, and I feel like this is like the theater, like this particular theater will get your foot in the door because these are very well connected people, FYI. So
Okay.
anybody in the New York area, just putting that out there. Um, what did I do? What happened that day? So I saw a casting call on Facebook and they were looking for someone, a woman of color, to to fulfill this particular role. They did this is when I did the Crucible,
Oh.
and I played the role of Tituba. So they wanted a woman of color,
Uh-huh.
and so I reached out to the person, slid in her DM, said, "Hey, I'm an actress, I'm available." Da 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 da. So I come in. It was me and I guess three other women.
Mhm.
We came in, read the script, and I prior to even going to that audition, I had Googled the Crucible. I did my background on Tituba. I
Very
did, yeah,
good.
yeah. Do
Uh,
your homework. Do your homework.
that's
Um,
it. Write that down, people. Do your homework.
do your homework. And I think that's what got me in the door is because I did my homework. So I read that the character Tituba was from Barbados, and so I gotta go in there with that Caribbean accent, and so I read the sides, or they gave me the script, and I did the lines in the Caribbean accent, and they were immediately taken aback, and needless to say, they didn't have to call back. They were just like, "Can you come in? Our rehearsal is on this day at this time. Here's the schedule. Here you go." So yeah, that's what happened.
Awesome. Awesome. See that's exactly, and I'm glad you're taking us that route because tools of the trade and doing your homework is essential. When you get into these auditions, if you are serious about the audition, then they need to study what they're walking into so they can be able to handle whatever is thrown at them. And you are already ready for it. So, therefore, it's nothing else for them to throw because you came in ready to take the audition and be able to own that role. And that's what you did. So, congratulations to you on that. So, now
Thank
let
you.
me ask you, Quanny, now, I have something in my book called You Need to Take with You in an Audition the Tools of the Trade. I want you to tell me what would be your tools of the trade that you would take with you into an audition so you can feel equipped for that audition.
I think I just revealed it. I think the main thing is preparation. Prep, 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 prep. Do your home. And it's sometimes it's not always easy because a lot of, especially if you're doing a lot of independent, non-union projects, a lot of these projects are like man written, especially if you're dealing with like writers and script writers of color. A lot of them, like, these are, so that's their story. A lot of them are telling their own story, so I can't really do research on their story. I just have to be able to connect. um and so being able to immediately connect with whatever that story is also a very important tool. Coming in prepared, coming in being able to connect, and also being able to. One of my tools that I recently just learned is don't be afraid to make a complete fool of yourself. Like,
Absolutely.
come in like doing the most outlandish thing, because that one outlandish thing can make the greatest sense to them, and that will be the thing that they fall in love with. For example, I had an audition, I want to say about a month ago. I didn't get the role because I feel like they already had in mind who they wanted to give it to,
Right.
but I came in and I played. I read for she was an older, a woman of a certain age, and she had a child who was strung out on drugs. And so I read the passage and or read the script, and one of them was to so the daughter came to the mother's house asking for money. And so asking for money, and then on the script it said something about the mother hands a girl money. And I'm like, oh. And I have an old Target receipt in my pocket. And I took it out and I just like balled it up and put it in her hand and closed her hand. You can't like, wait, hold up. Closed her hand like this. I said, here, take this. And they like lost it. And I like, it was so random. And I just, it's one of those skills where it's in the Chubbuck technique. They talk about the fourth wall, and
Mm-hmm.
using like that fourth wall, just kind of like just paying attention to your surroundings and whatever tools you have, like tangible tools that can really enhance a scene and make it what it is.
That was so good. So you're talking about the Chubbuck technique.
Yes.
Now, all right. So now tell us a little bit more about this Chubbuck technique. And again, where is she getting this from? Because she went to school to study techniques so you can be able to utilize them in your auditions so you can amplify yourself to be able to get those auditions by any means necessary, people. This is totally, totally important. This is a great interview. And Quanny, we really appreciate you giving us all these great insights. So back to the Chubbuck technique. We're listening. Go on.
So the Chubbuck technique, I was introduced by this technique by Tasha Smith. I had took her workshop back in 2018. She had
Mm-hmm.
came to New York, right in the heart of Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
and she had introduced this book. It's called The Power of the Actor. It's by Ivana Chubbuck.
Mm-hmm.
And basically these are like, there is a 12 steps that you have to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I can name a few, I offhand. One of them is the fourth wall. The another component is the inner monologue. Inner monologue is basically, what is that thought process, what is that inner story that you're telling yourself or that is going on within that inside of you that you can translate in the scene.
Mm.
Another one is substitution. So in order to like embrace a role or embrace a character, what is it within you or what happened in your own life can you use to substitute to 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 really hone in on that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly is not secondly, another one. What's another one? It's because it's like 12 of them. So
Uh,
fourth wall, inner monologue, substitution,
uh-huh.
um, and what's the other one? Oh gosh. Y'all gotta get the book because it's like 12, so I can't, we'll be here all
That's
day.
okay. So that means now we're gonna have to put in the description this book so we can be able to help you all to grow because this will be very good. And if we can get Tasha Smith on our interview, hopefully we can catch up with her and maybe we can get a chance to get more about this firsthand. So that would be really, really good. Thank you
Definitely.
so much. I appreciate that because the one thing we want to do is we want to continue to dive into the industry, talking to industry professionals so people can real understand that this is good, tangible information that they can utilize as they continue to grow in their craft if they're serious about the acting world. It's important. All right. Okay, so now you've been going on and doing some things. Now you just recently did something because when I was walking down the streets on 42nd, I saw this big billboard and your face popped up. Now tell us about this show. And I was so mad because I think I was in somebody else's country when you was doing it. So now tell us a little bit about this show.
This show was entitled He'll Work It Out. It was a gospel stage production.
Uh-huh.
It did very, very well.
Okay.
And yeah, I was one of the lead characters. There were like 6 or 7 lead characters. So I played the role of Giselle, aka Gigi. And basically, that role was a woman who was a woman of faith, raised in the church, but she also struggled with her sexuality.
Ah.
And so, and she was ostracized by her mother. Not really the remainder of her family, but more so her mother. And so you in this production, it was pretty much just a journey of her navigating through her own flesh and navigating through the dynamic of really being accepted by her mother.
Mhm.
It was intense. It was hard.
Oh.
This particular production was really hard for a couple of reasons. Number one, I auditioned back in April but didn't get the role. I was just auditioning period. I really wasn't trying to pursue a particular role. I was just going on the audition. Um didn't get the role, was upset about it. Well, I really wasn't upset. It's part of the process. You're going to hear more no's than yeses. But then I want to say in August, I saw on backstage that they were looking for a lead role. And so I was just like, this must be nice. So I resubmitted for the role, heard from them like a couple of hours after I submitted my information. Hey, can you do a virtual interview tomorrow? Sure, no problem. And so then did the audition. They gave me some notes, you know, did made other choices. And that's another thing that we also have to embrace as actors. We also have to learn how to make choices. It's about choices. We can't get stuck doing one thing a certain way. You got to make certain choices.
Beautiful.
Um,
Adapt and change.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that was that. They were like, okay, we're gonna reach out to you to let you know what's what. Later that night, because I was in Connecticut. Number one, it was my daughter's birthday, and then I was in a conference. So the director calls me later that evening, and she's like, "Hey, we really enjoyed you, and I want you to know personally, I'm rooting for you." And she was like, there is an option between you and two other young ladies, but I personally am rooting for you. And I was just like, oh wow, I don't know if she was supposed to tell me that, but I'm glad she did. And so she's like, she's asking me all of these questions about how I can make the character, because it's like a journey throughout Jeezy's adult life. So by the time she's 18 up until she hits 30 is like the exploration of her journey. um she's like, so what do you think you need to do, and tell me, like, what would this look like if you did this, and I love your short hair, but have you ever considered putting on a wig? And I was like, sure, I'm down for whatever. So we get off the phone. Couple of days later, or a couple of hours later, because this lady was blowing my phone up. I was like, oh wow, I don't know how to take this. She was like, okay, well, I sent you the script, I sent you the contract. I'm like, but I didn't even audition yet. Why are you sending me the contract already? She sends me everything, and she's like, okay, well, we want you to come in tomorrow, you and another young lady. We narrowed it down to two of you. So we want you to come in tomorrow at 12. Baby, I woke up at the butt crack of dawn and was on the first train smoking back to New York. Um, so then I get to the audition, and my audition was at 12 o'clock.
Mhm.
I walk up in that gate. I opened the gate at 11:57. I saw the director standing outside, and she runs to me and hugs me. And so, like, I love hugs. And she says, you got it, you got it, you got it. The other girl couldn't make it, so you got it.
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, wait, what? What? This was something I did, like, I mean, I put in the work, because at the same time, like, like, when I first auditioned in April, I did the research, I did all of that.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, wait, so I was just befuddled. I didn't even have the words.
Mhm,
Then I found out about the whole Times Square billboard thing, and I fell out. I said, okay.
mhm.
I was And so, but yeah, it did very well. It was like, I want to say, honestly, it's my best role to date.
Ah,
And not just because of the role that I played, but just the direction, um, just the way it was produced. The my other castmates, these are a group of amazingly talented, well-connected people, and like it was just like amazing. And I'm so excited for the next steps that we are going to take as a cast.
awesome, awesome. Sounds like it's going to be some really good things that's coming out of that. And now was that off Broadway, off Broadway,
Off
or
off Broadway, yeah.
it was off? It was 99.
Mhm,
Okay, all right. So,
mhm.
all right,
Wait,
now
no, well, no, well,
which one was that?
because
I'm
I always get the numbers confused.
off is less than 99, and if it's more than 99 and less than 500, it's off.
It was off. That's where it was. Yeah,
How do I know this? I had to study for my own book.
yeah.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is
As
in
y'all, because I still
the
got more homework to do.
that's all right. It's in the book. I already helped you. I put a whole bunch of stuff in this book, so therefore you can understand the language, the terminology, where you're going, what you're doing, and how to be able to contact some folks. So we tried our best to give you as much information as possible. But that is amazing. And thank you so much, Quanny. Now, Quanny, is there any information that you want to tell us or give us, or any upcoming information about you that you would like to tell the audience?
Just be on the lookout. There is some talk about a possible tour. Yeah. So, and also there is some possible talk about a series. Um,
Ooh.
Not from just a different series. I'm also doing a well, not, it's trying to get picked up by Amazon Prime, called West End Girls, and I'm in that. I'm one of well, I'm not a lead role, but I have a supporting role in that I'm really excited about. Is action, it's drama, so they got me running and fighting.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm doing the whole spiel, doing tactical training. Also, yes, which leads me to my next point. Um, Acting is so wide ranged because like it can help you tap into other worlds of other skills, like learning dialect, learning different languages, picking up like I'm doing tactical training. You think I be trying to fight? No, but that's part of the business. You learn like MMA fighting, tactical training, all of that stuff is choreographed, just choreography in general, how to move your body. Like you have to tap into the physicality of acting. Um, yeah, so just like not limiting yourself and being open to developing other skills that acting also introduce.
Okay. And my last question to you is, for the aspiring artist, what is it that you want to tell them or tell yourself when you get off that train that they need to do that will help them 100% so they can go out and win those auditions?
I feel like because it's like you can't even say it enough. Do your homework, make the investment, but also know that like you got to find joy in the journey, because it is a journey. It's a never ending journey where you're always this industry is ever changing. You know, we're coming out of this pandemic, and God knows whatever else is gonna come. Coming out of a strike, and so you have to be it's you have to be able to adapt. Number two, yeah, and just find joy in the journey, because you're gonna hear more no's than yeses. That just comes with the business. And it doesn't mean that you're any less talented. It just means that's just not the role for you in that moment. And you have to still be confident, and you still, even if you're not getting the role, you still that still doesn't mean that you didn't leave an impact. Like I've walked out of auditions not being hired per se, but still leaving an impact because my confidence or my level of preparation, the fact that I asked questions, like people are going to remember who you are. And you have to make yourself memorable. So you might not get this job over here, but we all know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's going to give you a job elsewhere.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And thank you so much, Quanny, for giving that information, because it's so important that people understand it. Do the homework and make sure you know, walk away. No, I have gone into auditions just like she has, and people start to try to create stuff for you because they see the personality. The whole
Mm.
purpose of an audition is for them to see the personality of the people that are coming before them so they can continue to procreate and create and create, so we can continue to have impactful scenes and episodes for us to be able to do. So congratulations to you, Quanny. Now, how can your fans and how could the people get in contact with you on your fan pages so they can continue to keep up with what you're doing?
Yes, I am on every single platform. On Instagram, you can find me at underscore really Quanny. That's ReallyQuanny. On TikTok is really underscore Quanny, spelled the same way. On Facebook, really underscore Quanny. You can find me on Facebook as well. So yeah, I'm all on all platforms with the same name, and I definitely follow back because this is a community. Like I don't believe one is superior to anybody else. Like I believe in building a creative community where we can learn from each other, we can grow. So yeah, find me and I'll follow back.
Well, all right. I just added it over there on the Facebook page. And thank you so much, guys. This has been Babs Alexander with the fantastic upcoming award-winning new equity actor for 2024. I'm calling it for you, Quanny.
Yes, call it.
Yes, yes. And my former student, Quanny.
Do you feel old? Don't. Do you feel old?
Leave me alone. No.
Do you-
But hey, always there. We can always keep learning. So hey, I'm learning from you. And thank you so much, Quanny, for joining us on Chats with Babs today. You have truly made a major impact on the people and the lives that we have listened to and joined us today. And we appreciate you. And without further ado, guys, that has been Chats with Babs and Quanny Johnson on how to become a professional